सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। पठामि संस्कृतं नित्यं वदामि संस्कृतं सदा ध्यायामि संस्कृतं सम्यक् वन्दे संस्कृतमातरम्। हरि ओम। Let us start as usual with a subhashita. Beautiful. Actually, it is two subhashitas. One we will be studying today and one in the next class. They both are connected. Let us see the first one. Please repeat. Ekena shushka vrikshena dahyamanena vannina दह्यते तद्वनं सर्वं कुपुत्रेण कुलं यथा। टुगेदर। एकेन शुष्कवृक्षेण दह्यमानेन वह्निना दह्यते तद्वनं सर्वं कुपुत्रेण कुलं यथा. What is the shloka saying? Let us try to understand. Ekena shushka vrikshena. Shushka means dry. Vriksha, tree. Ekena, by single dry tree, dahyamanena, which is being burnt by fire, vannina dahyamanena ekena shushka vrikshena. So by that one single dry tree which is burning with fire, what? Tat sarvam vanam dahyate. That entire forest is burnt. The entire forest catches fire because of one dry tree which is on fire. Like what? Yatha, just as kuputrena kulam. Kulam, the entire clan is destroyed, the reputation is gone. Kuputrena, by one bad putra, one bad son, one bad offspring. Okay? Understood the meaning? Now here grammatically also you see. Shushka vrikshena. That shushka vrikshena tritiya ekvachan. Ekena is adjective for that. Dahyamanena is also adjective for that. Dahyamanena ekena shushka vrikshena. By that single dry tree which is burning. Burning by what? Vannina dahyamanena. Vannina is a separate word. By fire. Both are in tritiya vibhakti. Vannina also tritiya vibhakti. Dahyamanena also tritiya vibhakti. Ekena shushka vrikshena. All four words are in tritiya vibhakti. But shushka vrikshena is the word for which ekena and dahyamanena are adjectives. And instrument So, ekena shushka vrikshena dahyamanena vannina. Here, that ekena shushka vrikshena dahyamanena is actually because of karmani prayoga. Okay, let me just recap for you. Point we have seen earlier. Remember kartari prayoga, karmani prayoga, active voice, passive voice. Now, what is my sentence here? This is the main sentence here. Shushka vrikshena vanam dahyate. Okay? This is the sentence, which is passive construction. Forest is burnt by a dry tree. Now, if in active construction, it will be Shushka vrikshaha vanam dahati. Shushka vrikshaha vanam dahati. Converted into passive construction, Shushka vrikshena vanam dahyate. Is that fine? Okay. Now, Shushka vriksha vanam dahati. How? Vannina dahyamanaha. Ekaha. See the sentence now. Vannina dahyamanaha ekaha shushka vrikshaha vanam dahati. Ekaha shushka vrikshaha. One dry tree. How is it? Vannina dahyamanaha, which is being burnt by fire. Vanam dahati, destroys the entire forest. Burns the entire forest. Right? Now, this is the sentence now. Now, to convert this sentence into passive, this one has become third. Tritiya vibhakti. Prathama karta vibhakti. Prathama vibhakti karta in kartari prayoga becomes tritiya vibhakti in karmani prayoga. Correct? So, shushka vriksha has become shushka vrikshena. So, obviously the adjectives also will be converted into tritiya vibhakti. Therefore, we have ekena and dahyamanena. Okay? Vannina is already in tritiya vibhakti. It is the instrument of action. It will continue to remain in tritiya vibhakti, vannina. Can you see that? Can you see? So, shushka vrikshena is the actually here karta. That karta has two adjectives, ekena and dahyamanena. Karta is the subject. Because of passive construction, the subject is in tritiya vibhakti. Correct. Vanam is karma. Okay. So, this is subject. This is the verb. This is the object. Correct? Shushka vrikshena vanam dahyate. Because karmani prayoga, vanam is in prathama vibhakti. Here vanam is in dvitiya vibhakti. Because it is napunsakalinga, both vanam only is happening. Vanam vane vanani. That's why you can't see. But actually there is a difference. Here vanam is in prathama. Here vanam is in dvitiya. Okay? Now, for this subject, this is object, this is instrument. Instrument. Karana. Okay. Now, this is subjective subjects adjective. Subjects adjectives, these two are. And these two are objects adjectives. Tat and sarvam. Tat sarvam vanam. Tat sarvam vanam. So vanam is the object and then two adjectives, tat and sarvam. Clear? Are you understanding now how the words are formed? So because it is karmani prayoga, subject is in tritiya vibhakti, so the adjectives also are in tritiya vibhakti. Object is in prathama vibhakti, its adjectives are also in prathama vibhakti. And then verb is in the passive construction, ya is added and atmanepada pratyas, dahyate, vanam dahyate, whereas original was dhati. Okay, clear? So in active it would have been vannina dahyamanaha ekah shushka vrikshah tat sarvam vanam dahati. Now in passive construction it will become vannina dahyamanena ekena shushka vrikshena tat sarvam vanam dahyate. So though this is also in tritiya vibhakti and this is also in tritiya vibhakti, they are not same. One is the subject karta, another is instrument karana. All right. And actually, this much I have told, so one more point I can surely tell. This is not karana for this verb. This is karana for dahyamana. This is the instrument for it being burnt, not the forest being burnt. Vannina dahyate is not the sentence here. Vannina dahyamanena is the, so it is connected to this dahyamana. See, vannina dahyamanaha ekah vriksha, shushka vriksha. Vannina dahyamana means that which is burnt by fire, which is burning with fire or by fire. With and by both are tritiya vibhakti, isn't it? Instrument. But it is for this burning, not this burnt. Okay. Vannina dahyamane ekena shushka vrikshena tat sarvam vanam dahyate. All right, grammatically understood? Right. Now, let us come back to our. So what is actually the shloka trying to convey? That even if the entire clan is very good, lineage is very good, one bad person in the lineage can destroy the image of the entire lineage. To explain this point, example is given, just as one single dry tree which is burning can burn the entire forest. Okay. Another example that they generally give is in the mango box. If one mango has gone bad, is rotten, then it makes sure that all other mangoes of the box also become rotten. All right. So that is the point. What is the point? Just as one dry tree burning with fire is enough to burn the entire forest, one ill-mannered child is enough to burn or destroy the entire clan. Example, Ravana. They say Ravana's lineage was a great lineage. Do you know who is Ravana's great-grandfather? Do you know who is Ravana's great-grandfather? Is Brahmaji himself. Ravana's grandfather is one of the Saptarshis. Ravana's father was a great Rishi. He is a Brahmana by birth. So he is born in which family? Great-grandfather has created the entire world. Grandfather is part of Saptarshis. Father was a Rishi. He himself was a Veda Pandita, was a great scholar of Vedas. But what did he do after that? That entire clan was known as Rakshasa Vamsha. Entire reputation of the clan gone. Now imagine somebody telling, I belong to Ravana's Vamsha. What will we say? Ravana's Vamsha. Actually, Ravana's Vamsha is a great Vamsha. It's a Vamsha of Rishis. Sakshat Brahmaji, Saptarshi, Rishis are there in that. But one ill-mannered, one bad Kuputra, one bad child, one bad son destroyed the reputation of the entire clan. Alright, that is the point. Let us now go for the our topic, Sandhi Prakarana. So in the last session, we saw the last sutra. Let us just revise last two sutras which we have seen. Ad Gunaha, please repeat. Ad Gunaha. Ad Gunaha. Ad Gunaha. What is the sutra telling? The sutra is saying, Avarnat achipare purvaparayoho ekah gunaha adesha syat samhitayam. If a is followed by any swara, then in place of both of them, a as well as that swara, one guna will come. What is guna? Adeng gunaha, a, o. These three letters are called as guna. But we saw, though it is a general rule for all swaras, we have other two exceptions. One is Akassavarne Dirgha, which says if a is followed by a, then Dirgha will happen. So a is gone. Next sutra which will come, Vriddhirechi, which will say if a is followed by h, then Vriddhi will come. So what remains? When a is followed by ik, then in place of both, one guna will come. Example, a is followed by I, U, R, L, then what will happen? A, O, R, Al. This will be the result. A plus I, A. A plus U, O. A plus R, R. And A plus L, Al. Remember this? Ekadesha. Remember Ach Sandhi, Ubhaya, Nitya, Ekadesha. Ekadesha means in place of both, only one is coming. And what is that one that is coming? That is the guna that is coming. A, O or A. This R and L is coming because of other rule, Urandraparaha. Why? Because this R and L are leaving its trace. Leaving their traces, therefore. Right? But guna means what? A, O and A. Similarly, next sutra, please repeat. Vriddhirechi. 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 What is that telling? At. At means avarnat. Echi pare vriddhi ekadesha syat. If a is followed by h, then one vriddhi will happen. One vriddhi will happen means both will be replaced by vriddhi alone. What is vriddhi? Vriddhi adaich. That's the Paribhasha Sutra. Vriddhi is a, I and au. So, a plus a or a plus I. A plus o or a plus au. That is what will happen. Remember all these points we have seen earlier? Sure. Now, some exercise was given. Let us first solve that and then we will try to remember all the sutras of Ach Sandhi together. Let us do that. Tatra plus eva. Tatraiva. Why? A plus A will become I. Vriddhirechi. These are exercise for Vriddhirechi. So, Tatra plus eva. Tatraiva. Correct? What is this at the end I am putting? I hope you know what is this at the end I am putting. Danda. Danda is full stop in Sanskrit. Deva plus Aishwaryam. A plus I. A plus I. Devaishwaryam. Devaishwaryam. Similarly, Rakta plus Oshadhi, Raktaushadhi, Au. Tava Audaryam, Tavaudaryam, again Au. Tatha plus Eva, Tathaiva, A plus A, I. Tathaiva. Vana plus Aushadham, Vanaushadham, Au. Drishtva plus Etat, Drishtvaitat. Drishtvaitat. Parama plus Auchityam, Paramauchityam, Au. Okay? Clear? Up to here is clear? Alright. Now what? Now we have to split. What we have to look for? I or Au? I or Au we have to look for. Right? So, Naiva. Write it separately. Na, I, Va. Now, this can be split in two ways. A plus A or A plus I. Correct? Correct? Now we know the word Na plus A, Na. Whether the word Eva is there or Aiva is there. Eva is there. Eva indeed. So the answer is Na plus Eva. That is why we saw first all the avyayas. Then we saw the vibhakti pratyayas and the rupas. We saw all the verbs and now we are studying this. So that we will at least know what is the word that we are separating. Naiva, na plus eva. Maivam. Again here, two options are there. I, A or A or I. Correct? Correct? Either A or A added with A or I. So which one for the first one? Ma. Is there a word called ma? No. Is there a word called ma? Yes. So ma. Ma. Aivam, is there a word? No. Evam. Ma evam. Ma evam. Don't do like this. Don't not like this. Ma evam, ma evam. Maivam. Similarly here, Devata Aikatmyam. Aikatmyam. Not Ekatmyam. Okay, understand one concept here. Ekatma Aikatmya. Ekatma Aikatmya. Abstract noun. In English, abstract noun. Have you studied abstract noun? What is abstract noun? How do I say? Child. Childish. Sweet. Sweetness. Childness or childish. This is what I am making it abstract. Child is a person. Childness is the quality which is abstract. Sweet is an explanation of an object. Sweetness is an abstract noun. Okay? Okay? So, from the word Ekatma, Aikatmya is made. Ekatma Ekatma means one. Ek Atma. Aikatmya, oneness. Oneness. Okay. Another way of making abstract is by adding ta or twa in Sanskrit. Ekatmata. Ekatmata means aikatmya. Shuddha, pure. Shuddhata, purity or pureness. Are you getting this point? Yeah. So the word is tmya, no? Tmya here, which means here it should be I, not A. Because ekatmya, such word is not there. Ekatma is there. Tma. But since here it is mya, it has to be aikatmya. Here also you see udara, audarya. That ya is for indicating abstract noun. And when it changes to ya, here also vriddhi is happening. A is changing to I. Similarly here udara, audarya. Ukara's vriddhi is au and ya is getting added. Auchitya, you see, uchita. Uchit, uchita. Auchitya. Udara, audarya. Ishwara, aishwarya. Can you see that? How beautifully Sanskrit is. This is called as tadhita. One topic which we are going to study later, no? Tadhita. From one noun, another noun is formed. Okay? Okay? So, Ishwara, Aishwarya. Udara, Audarya. Aushadha is not. Uchita, Auchitya. Similarly here, Ekatma, Aikatmya. Aikatmya. Or Ekatmata. There is the same meaning. Ta if you add, Udarata is what? Audarya. Uchitata is Auchitya. Ishwaratva, I told you, Tva also can be added. Ishwaratva means Aishwarya. Alright, so Devata Aikatmyam. Next also, Utkantha Autkantyam. Same. Ya is there. Ya indicates that there has to be au in the beginning. Utkantha Autkantyam. Okay, so Krishna plus Autkantyam. Then next one, I hope this is clear. Very interesting topic this is. So general rule, what is happening? So suppose Ishvara, let us say, is the word. Okay? So what happens? This becomes vriddhi. And ya is added in between. Then is vriddhi is I. Vriddhi is what? A, I, au. Isn't it? Only three are there. So whatever is the relevant, for E relevant is I. So I, Shva. Then Ra plus Ya plus A. Aishwarya. Aishwarya. Same way everywhere. Udara. Udara. This becomes vriddhi, au. Da is same. Ya is added in between. Audarya. Ekatma. Ekatma. A goes to vriddhi, I. And ya is added. Aikatmya. Utkantha. Autkantyam. Same logic. Alright. Yada plus eva. Yadaiva. Yada eva. Adya eva. Now itself. Last one is tatra ekada. Tatra there, ekada once. Tatra there, ekada once. So this way we can split all the sandhis. So see the answers. See if your answers are right. Are your answers right? One went wrong. That's okay. All right. Shall we go forward? Let us do the Ach Sandhi revision. We have completed the topic of Ach Sandhi. Ach Sandhi is Swara Sandhi. Swara Sandhi. Revision let us do. First sutra, please repeat after me. Akassavarne dirghaha. Akassavarne dirghaha. Akassavarne dirghaha. What is that sutra telling? Ak, a, I, u, r plus savarne pare followed by same varna. Then what will happen? Dirgha ekadesha syat. One dirgha will come. A, I, u, r respectively. Akassavarne dirghaha. Right? Next. Repeat. Iko yanachi. Iko yanachi. Iko yanachi. Iko. Ikah sthane in place of ik. Yan syat. There will be yan. Achi samhitayam vishaye when followed by ach. Followed by any swara. But this is general rule. There is a special rule. So other than savarna, any other swara if it follows, then what? Ik will change to yan. Both are not replaced. It is not ekadesha sandhi. It is adesha only. In place of ik, yan is coming. In place of ik, yan is coming. So in place of I, ya is coming. In place of u, va is coming. In place of r, ra is coming. And in place of l, la is coming. Now, also please remember this. You should be able to decipher now the sutra the moment the sutra is said. Akassavarne dirgha. The moment it is said, akaha shashti vibhakti means akaha, ak. Ak is what? Ayun riluk. Savarne, saptami vibhakti means that is telling what happens, what is followed. And prathama vibhakti tells what happens, dirgha will happen. So when ak is followed by savarna, dirgha will happen. From that akassavarne dirgha only I should be able to find out. Why? Because please remember, sometimes once we study more and more sutras, we will forget this. But we will remember this. So you should be able to make this out of this. Iko yanachi, ikaha, shashti vibhakti, ik. Ika sthane, yan syat, yan is prathama vibhakti, that is what will happen. Achi is saptami vibhakti, ach means swara. So when ik followed by swara, then in place of ik, yan will happen. What is ik? I, u, r, l. What is yan? Ya, va, ra, la. So in place of I, ya will happen. In place of u, va will happen. In place of r, ra will happen. And in place of l, la will happen. From the sutra itself, we should be able to come to this. Then that sandhi has gone, sandhi prakarana is fixed in our brain. Alright? Iko yanachi. Okay? Why we are saying here any other swara, where the sutra is only telling about ach, because there is one sutra above. So iko yanachi is the general rule. Akassavarne dirgha is a special rule. That special rule will say, wait, but if there is savarna, then dirgha will happen. That's why original sutra says any swara, but we have written here any other swara. Because if same swara is there, dirgha will happen. Next sutra, please repeat. Echoya vayavaha. Echoya vayavaha. Echoya vayavaha. What is that sutra telling? Echaha aya av aya avaha. Echaha kramat aya av aya av ete syuhu achipare. So when H, what is H? A, O, I, O is followed by any swara, then what? In place of these four, respectively, ay, av, I, av, these will happen. These will happen. In case you have missed any of the previous classes, please go and watch. Otherwise, you will not understand what is happening. What is this HOA suddenly? It is explained earlier. Only after that, if you come here, then you will get it. Right? So, A, O, I, O followed by any swara, then respectively Aya, Ava, Aya, Ava. Again, here you see change. Change is what? Only this is becoming this. This swara will remain. Only this is becoming this. This swara will remain. But here it is equal to sign. In place of both, one is coming. Ekadesha, Adesha, Adesha. Iko yanachi. Adesha Sandhi. Echoya vayavaha. Adesha Sandhi. Akassavarne dirgha. Ekadesha Sandhi. Right? Now, after this, we studied one sutra. What is that? Lopashakalya. I am not putting it in the count. Can you see that? 1, 2, 3. I am not putting 4. Why? Because this is not Ach Sandhi. This is actually Hal Sandhi. What is happening? What is the sutra telling? Shakalyasya lopaha. Lopa will happen. Lopa of what? If Padanta ya va is there, preceded by a or a, followed by ash, then that ya or va may get dropped. So a or a will only remain and the next swara will remain, but that ya or va may get dropped. Optional. Optional. Okay. Alright. I am tempted to tell you one concept. Shall I tell you? Shall I tell you? Okay. Let me tell. Those who understand, understand. Those who don't understand, forget it. See, Panini is a brilliant mind. How do you say, how do you explain that there is some sutra which is optional? The sutra doesn't say any option. Isn't it? Shakalyasya lopaha. The sutra says according to Shakalya, there will be lopa. But how are we saying that that lopa is optional? So what he has done is, he has divided his 8 chapters into 2 parts. Let me explain this concept little. It is very interesting concept. So 8 chapters. He has the sutras written in 8 chapters. Okay, Ashtadhyayi. The text itself is called as Ashtadhyayi. That 8 chapters he has divided into 2 parts. First part is of before I go, all 8 chapters are divided into 4 quarters. Each chapter is divided into 4 quarters. Okay, so first quarter of first chapter, second quarter, etc. Okay, so prathamodhyayah, prathamaha padaha. Pada means quarter. So pada he has divided each chapter into 4. Pada means quarter. It is exactly like verse. We have a verse which is divided into 4 quarters. Isn't it? Today we chanted one verse now. Ekena shushka vrikshena, 1 quarter. Dahyamanena vanhina, 2nd quarter. Dahyate tadvanam sarvam, 3rd quarter. Kuputrena kulam yatha, 4th quarter. So one verse is divided into 4 quarters. Similarly, one chapter divided into 4 quarters. Each chapter is divided into 4 quarters. Now, what he has done is, he has divided these 8 chapters into 2 parts also. First part is 7 chapters completely and 1 quarter of the 8th chapter. And then there are remaining 3 quarters of the 8th chapter. Okay? Are you understanding what he has done? First 7 chapters and the first quarter of the 8th chapter he has put it together, and last 3 quarters he has put it together. So this is called Sapada Sapta. Sapta means 7, Sapada means along with 1 quarter. So 7 along with 1 quarter, 7 and 1 quarter. And this is called Tripada. Tripada means 3 quarters. Okay? Now what he does is, in these 3 quarters, he puts all the sutras which are optional. And what he does is, as the first sutra of this last part, this last 3 quarter, no, he puts one sutra called Purvatra Asiddham. For the next part, whatever has been said before is not there. So what happens? For this part does not exist. And for this part does not exist. Why? Because language is such that language carries options. See, language is in use already. He is putting rules for the language which is already in use. So suppose you are already using two options, how can he justify? So he has done like this. One set of rules in the first part, optional rules in separate part. So this Lopa Shakalya says from this Tripada. So for Echo Vayavaha, Lopa Shakalyasya doesn't exist. And for Lopa Shakalyasya, Echo Vayavaha is not the final sutra. Whatever I say is the final thing. Do you understand what is happening? Now, because Lopa Shakalyasya does not exist for other part, therefore I told you that after Lopa Shakalyasya, no other sutra can be applied. Why? Because here Lopa has happened. Here Lopa has happened means it has become invisible, but it exists. And especially for the first section, that Lopa itself has not happened. So where is the question of further Sandhi? Look at the system, look at the technique Panini is using. It's brilliant. When I studied this Sarvatra Siddham, no, I was blown away. I was like, how brilliant is this man? Simple solution he has found for such complicated things. Why? Because you see, every time to say that this sutra is optional, this sutra is optional, this sutra is optional, but it is optional for what? How many times are you going to say wa means or? How many times you are going to say? So he doesn't do anything like that. They say for a grammarian, sutras are made in such a way that not a single extra letter they use. They say for a grammarian, if he can reduce a letter, he enjoys that moment like he has got his own son. Putrotsavam manyante Vaiyakaranaha. That is what is the thing. If they can reduce one letter from the sutra, they become so happy. Yes, I have reduced one letter. Means what? While using, not a single extra letter he is using. Akash Savarni Dirgha, not a single extra letter he is using. Now, I'll give you a simple example. Iko Yanachi. Okay? Achi is already there here. Echoya Vaya, he doesn't say Achi. He said that you take from the previous sutra. I am not going to say again. Achi Pare is there. If there is a change, I will say Ashi. If there is a change happening, I will change. Otherwise, dicto, copy. Bring it from the previous. So, entire sutra, you will see when you are studying Panini's Ashtadhyayi in the Krama, we will see that the top sutra has everything that is required, and that important information is carried in so many other sutras following. And according to that, he has made these padas. So, where the pada ends, no more following of from the previous pada. Now, new thing is starting. I told you earlier also, more and more we study Ashtadhyayi, more and more we say this India's history, is something else only. Brilliance means what? This is brilliance. This is brilliance. This is beyond brilliance. Today we say, so many lines of codes we write, etc. And we say, if we can reduce the number of lines in the codes, the performance will increase. They knew and they have written. And that is why they say that Sanskrit grammar is best for computer language. That is because it is absolutely crisp. And it is covering everything. It is not that, many times we don't even understand this. How can Sanskrit grammar be used for language? They are not asking about using Sanskrit lines of codes. No, that's not the point. The methodology, how the grammar is structured, that structure can be used for a computer language. Why? Because there is a language which is created from that grammar structure, which is so perfect. Therefore, using that structure, you can create a computer language. That's what is the point. Many people, they don't understand, and they say, but the good thing about Sanskrit, they will always say, do you know Sanskrit language is the most perfect for computer language? What do you mean? The structure, the grammatical structure of Sanskrit language is ideal, and therefore it can be used to create a computer language which is completely new, Computer language means what? You are creating a syntax, you are creating rules, and based on that you are creating a language. Now, for the highest performance, you need a most robust structure of a language. That's what Sanskrit can give because of great people like Panini. It's one of the reasons why after Panini, no grammarian has come and created something new. Whatever they have done is in line with Panini. Brilliant. Okay? If you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, not my problem. Alright. So, Lopashakalya is from Tripada section. That's why it is optional when it comes to usage. Alright? Next sutra, fifth sutra, which is an exception for this. What is the exception sutra? Please repeat after me. Engaf padanta dati. Engaf padanta dati. Engaf padanta, once more. Engaf padanta dati. So the general sutra says what? Echoya Vayava says what? If A, O, I, O is followed by any swara, then A will change to Aya, O will change to Ava, I will change to Aya, O will change to Ava. But there is an exception. What is the exception? If at the end of the pada, A or O are there, and the next pada starts with a, only a, then in place of both one a or o will come. A will not become aya, o will not become ava. Instead of that, in place of that a or o and a, one a or o will come. So many examples we have seen. Soham, soyam, Vishnu adhuna, Hare ava, all these examples. Ing of padanta dati. Next sutra, repeat. Ad gunaha. Ad gunaha. Ad gunaha. What is the sutra saying? Avarnat iki pare guna ekadesha syat. When avarna is followed by I urul, then one guna will come. So a plus I, a plus u, o, a plus r, ar, a plus l, al. What is guna? A, o. These three letters are called as guna. Adeng gunaha. So a, o and a, this is coming by guna, and then that ra and la, we have seen urandraparaha, etc. Some other sutras are there. Alright. Last sutra of Sandhi, vriddhirechi. 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 Similar to ad guna, if avarnat at echi pare, if it is followed by h, a, I, o, au, then vriddhi rekadesha syat. Then vriddhi, single adesha will happen. So a plus a plus I, a plus o, au, a plus au, au. This is what will happen. Okay. I hope you remember in the last session I explained to you the connection between ikoyanachi and echoyavayavaha. Do you remember? A is nothing but a plus e. O is a plus u. Okay, let me just write a u. I is a e. And au is a u. And therefore, if e is changing to ya, change this e to ya. You will get aya, ava, aya, ava. Remember last session? We saw this. This is just tricks to remember. Nothing else. It's just tricks to remember. Alright? Huh? We also said Ikoyanachi is the general sutra. This is an exception. Echoyavayavaha is a general sutra. First general sutra, first exception. Second general sutra, second exception. Now, Ad Guna is the general sutra, and there are two exceptions. This one also and this one also. Remember? What is the general sutra for Ad Guna? That's why the sutra says Achipare. General sutra says if a is followed by ach, then guna should happen. Then there are two exceptions that come. What is this? First is akas savarna dirgha. He says if it is savarna, a is coming, then guna will not happen, dirgha will happen. And then vriddhi rechi, another exception comes, and he says if a is followed by h, then guna will not happen, vriddhi will happen. Clear? So for this is the general sutra. For I, U, R, L, this is the general sutra. And for A, O, I, Au, this is the general sutra. Can you see this? For A, what is the general sutra? Ad Gunaha. What are the exceptions? Akas Savarne Dirgha and Vriddhi Rechi. For I, U, R, L, what is the general sutra? Iko Yanachi. What is the exception? Akassavarne dirgha. For Echoyavayavaha, what is the general sutra? AOIO, what is the general sutra? Echoyavayavaha. What is the exception? Ing of Padanta Dati. See, G1, E1, G2, E2, G3, E3. General and exceptions. Is this clear? Is this clear? Okay. Must by heart these sutras. Akassavarne dirgha, iko yanachi, echoyavayavaha, lopashakalya, ing of padantadati, adgunaha, vriddhirechi. Every day morning you get up and just read this. You don't have to sit and memorize, not required. Every day morning you get up and just read. Again next day you get up, again you read. Again next day you get up, again you read. Don't worry about by hearting. It will automatically become memorized. Don't worry about that. It will automatically become. 10 times if we say Akassavarne dirgha, it will become. Alright. That is what we should do. Now, one important point also we must remember. For splitting the Sandhi, what we should be looking for. In the first sutra, we should look for dirgha. In the second sutra, we must look for yava, rala. For third sutra, we must look for aya, ava, aya, ava. Right? For this sutra, we should look for avagraha. For fifth sutra, we should look for a or o. A, o or al. This is what we should be looking for. And for last sutra, I and au. Okay. See, so far what we have done now, we studied one sutra and we took examples of the same sutra. That is simple thing. Why? Because we know which sutra is going to apply. The problem comes when we don't know which sutra will apply. That is where the challenge will come. Okay? So be ready for that. Alright? We are going to see. Alright? Chalo. Sufficient. Now what? Summary in different way. The way we had seen it earlier. Okay? Nothing new. I am just going to do what is happening when. Okay? Let us see. A followed by savarna. Dirgha will happen. A followed by a, dirgha will happen. A followed by e, u, r, l. What will happen? Guna will happen. A followed by a, o, I, au. What will happen? Vriddhi will happen. Only 3 sutras. Akassavarne dirgha, adgunaha, vriddhirechi. I want you to make this, okay? That's why I have not made it very clear. You can't see the letters, that is very good. You have to make these tables for you yourself. Second, E, U, R, L. If it is followed by savarna, same E, U, R, L, then dirgha will happen. Akassavarne dirgha. If it is followed by asavarna, some other swara, then yana sandhi will happen. Yavarala. Right? Last, a, o, I, au. When followed by any swara, aya, ava will happen. Exception is, if padanta a, o is followed by a, then a or o will happen. Akassavarne dirgha, adgunaha, vriddhirechi, akassavarne dirgha, ikoyanachi, echoyavayavaha, ing of padanta dati. Okay? I want you all to make this. So write down, a is followed by what will happen. Now in case you don't know how to make this, I have one more idea for you, which I will give and I will stop. This, make a table. What table? Here, write down all the swaras. Etc. Here also write down all the swaras. Etc. And then you use your previous knowledge and see, this is Purvapada, this is Parapada. If a is followed by a, what will happen? That you write here, a will happen. If a is followed by a, what will happen? A will happen. If a is followed by e, what will happen? A will happen. Which sutra? Ad gunaha, guna sandhi. A is followed by dirgha e, A will happen. A is followed by u, O will happen. O will happen. A is followed by r will happen, etc. Now, carefully see here. If e is followed by a, for a also same thing will happen. So you can actually put a or a also together. That's okay. Now for e, if that e is followed by a, then what will happen? E is followed by a, then e will change to ya. Iko yanachi. Correct? And that ya is followed by a, so the answer will be ya. E followed by a, ya. E followed by e, don't say ye. E followed by e, dirgha e, akasavarne dirgha. E followed by u, u. E followed by dirgha u, u. Are you getting how it is happening? Because in Iko Yanachi, only first letter is converting itself into something else, isn't it? Ik is changing into yan. This following letter is as it is. So, ya add a, ya add a, ya add u, you, ya add dirgha u, you. That is what will happen. So, make a table like this. If you are able to make a table like this, then you have understood. Ach Sandhi is clear. If you are stuck, go back and go through the sutras again. Alright? Chalo. Sufficient for today. Let us conclude. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.